In 1975, scientists discovered something remarkable. When just 1% of a population learns TM, negative trends decrease and positive trends increase. The statistics were unmistakable. Crime, sickness, and accident rates went down. The economy, stock market, and number of patents applied for increased.
And the beauty is that you don't need the whole population to meditate. Just 1% creates that effect, which scientists call the Maharishi effect. It's because Maharishi predicted it long before it was verified by science.
The 1% effect is also found in nature. For example, an iron bar becomes magnetized when only 1% of the iron molecules are oriented in an orderly way.
So with 1% of the population meditating, we can create a peaceful society. In addition, we also create a perfect system of protection against all sorts of negative influences. To understand this, we can look at a phenomenon that physicists call the Meissner effect.
In an ordinary system, there is a lot of entropy, disorder, and resistance. But a system with maximum coherence becomes a superconductor. The perfect orderliness within the superconductor prevents any disorder from penetrating it. Simultaneously, it creates a protecting field around it, so no disorder from the outside can disturb the flow of the system. The system becomes invincible. This is the Meissner effect.
In terms of people and countries, when 1% of the population meditates, the country becomes invincible. It no longer allows any negative influence from inside or outside.
By using this technology, every nation can create an ideal defense system and generate a continuous influence of peace towards its neighbors. At last, we have a scientifically proven formula to create peace in society. Let's take a country, for example Belgium, with a population of 10 million people. We need 100,000 TM practitioners to create peace.
So there's still a long way to go. But in 1976, Maharishi introduced the TM City program, and that changed everything. The power of harmony multiplied exponentially.
With the TM City program, the square root of 1% of a population is enough to create the same effect if they are gathered in one place. So, a group of 317 Sidhas in one place has the same effect as 100,000 meditators. In the physics of sound, this effect is known as constructive interference. When three sound waves with an identical frequency are combined, the power or intensity increases logarithmically. The resulting wave is 9 times more powerful.
This extended Maharishi effect at last gives us a practical solution for world peace. We only need the square root of 1% of the world's population, which works out to be just 9,000 peace experts. World peace can be a permanent reality. Research has proven that this technology works. Over 50 studies have demonstrated its effectiveness to an exceptionally high level of reliability. Let's examine one strong case.
Washington, D.C. in 1993, a few thousand Sidhas gathered to demonstrate the power of peace, and crime was reduced by 23%.
You can actually train a group in a very powerful stress-reducing technology of TM, pretty easily, of course. And you can do that, for example, in the middle of Lebanon during the peak of the Lebanon War. It only took several hundred to start to notice an effect. But scientifically, you create the group, you remove the group. You create the group, you remove the group. You have them there for 2 days, they're gone for 3. You have them back, and you watch the level of war fighting, war deaths, war injuries, rise and fall in very strong correlation to the number of people who are creating peace and dissolving stress in the collective consciousness. When you've published 40 or 50 studies like that, you end up building up evidence that is really beyond irrefutable. There's never been an approach that has been studied as carefully and has been demonstrated to be so powerful. The effects can actually be felt very, very soon.
Even better, modern science can explain the underlying mechanics. But even in ancient times, this knowledge was available.
Maharishi Patanjali states in the Yoga Sutras, in the vicinity of yoga, hostile tendencies are eliminated.
I'm here in front of Maharishi Patanjali Golden Dome of Pure Knowledge in Maharishi University of Management here in Fairfield, Iowa, where some 600 people are coming to do their program, practice TM City program, and yogic flying every day. Now, to understand what is yogic flying, I spoke with the Vice President of the university, Dr. Craig Pearson, who has his PhD in Maharishi Vedic Science. He has authored The Supreme Awakening and the complete book of yogic flying. So he is an authority figure on this topic, and I asked him, what is yogic flying?
Yogic flying, I would say, is the most powerful meditation technique available in the world today. But to really understand what yogic flying is, we have to understand what transcendental meditation is, because yogic flying is an advanced technique of the transcendental meditation program. The Transcendental Meditation Program, as many people know, is a simple, natural, effortless technique for allowing the activity of the mind to settle inward into a state of complete stillness, silence. And this is the most powerful level of the mind. This is the level of the mind which is really an unbounded ocean of creativity, of intelligence, of power, of energy. That technique by itself is extraordinarily powerful in transforming brain functioning to become more integrated, in developing creativity and intelligence, in developing the personality, actually in creating peace in the environment around us. So transcendental meditation by itself, so simple and natural, is extremely powerful. But the yogic flying, which is part of a set of advanced techniques of transcendental meditation called the TM City program, actually accelerates the development that we get with our transcendental meditation program. Now, how does that happen? With transcendental meditation, the mind settles inward, as I've described. The TM City program, and particularly yogic flying, trains the mind to think and act from that most silent, most settled, most powerful level of the mind. I think anybody could understand that when we come to the most silent, still level of the mind, and when we can begin to think and act from that level, that would be a level of extraordinary power. And why is that a good thing? Because then we can fulfill our desires most easily from there. When we practice transcendental meditation, within 60 seconds of closing your eyes to meditate, the brain will make a dramatic shift into a highly integrated state of functioning. Now, with yogic flying, when we practice this technique, there's an upsurge of coherence that encompasses the whole brain. And I didn't mention that during yogic flying practice, it's called yogic flying because during the practice, the body will spontaneously lift up from the ground in a series of hops. And the discussion of brain functioning is important here because during the 2-second interval right before the body lifts up, that's when there's an upsurge of integration and coherence, synchrony in brain functioning. So the phenomenon of the body lifting up comes out of this highly organized style of brain functioning. Research shows that this orderliness in brain functioning is not limited to the brain. It's not encased within the cranium. That orderliness radiates out into the environment. It's something that can be measured objectively, empirically, scientifically. And we measure that increased coherence, increased peace in reduced crime rates wherever there are a significant number of people practicing this TM City program. It's reflected in reduced accident rates, in reduced international terrorism. When open warfare is present, literally the number of war deaths declines, the number of bombs falling declines. It's quite a dramatic finding. And the significance of the domes is that people come together and they create this powerful effect of coherence and harmony in the whole environment.
yogic flying creates a kind of bliss that I can't compare with anything. It's not just unbounded bliss, but it's unbounded bliss that is moving, and it becomes really exhilarating all over my body, and I feel it radiating out too.
You know, I think the greatest benefit for me is cultivation of resilience, the ability to, endure stressful situations and break through and just emerge as a stronger and better person on the other side.
And one is with a group in the Golden Dome, having this experience of transcending, of diving within, and then stimulating that inner ocean of creativity and intelligence through the practice of yogic flying.
Which is the most exhilarating practice, because when I came here and experienced the piece, and then when I went in the Golden Domes and practiced the Siddhi program, including yogic flying, it was absolutely mind-blowing. It was incredibly peaceful and so powerful. The body lifts up and it's just this wave of bliss that just takes over. So I really want to thank you so much for coming on the program. We really appreciate your knowledge, and I know you're so busy to make time for us. It's truly
it's a joy to
blissful,
speak about yogic flying. It's one of my favorite things in the